I am back with another video giving you 5 tips on how to play Football Manager. These tips will come in handy if you're doing a lower league type save or a journeyman type save, like I am doing with Neftocimic in Bulgaria. You can come and watch this save. I stream on Twitch Mondays, Wednesdays and Sundays. If you're free, come along and hang out. So let's look at Plamen Galibov here. He's probably my best player we have at the team, but he doesn't look that spectacular. He's got 1 rating in green, the rest are all yellows, so he kind of looks a bit meh. What you can do, you can change the colours of the attributes to better suit the level that you're at. So how do we do this? Come up to the Football Manager logo, down to preferences, and up here, type colour. And then there's an option that's going to show that says custom skin colour. You click on skin colours. This will give you an option to change the colour that highlights the attributes. So currently an excellent attribute is a 16. I want to change that to a 13 for this level. So I just click in here, change that to 13, confirm, the skin will reload, and once the skin has reloaded, all the attributes that were 13 will now show green, and it'll give a much better representation of the player you actually have. And the skin has now been reloaded. Now look at this player. He looks so much better, so much more attributes now highlighted as green. We've now highlighted heading, which is 14, tackling, which is 13, work rate 13. You get a better idea how good this player is for this level. Tip number 2 is to use the work permit options in your searches. There's nothing worse than finding a player and then finding out you won't be able to get a work permit for him. This will just get rid of all that. When you're searching for players, come down to add a condition, go into transfer, and at the bottom you've got work permit chance and work permit required. So here, this is going to show all the players that don't require a work permit. This will definitely come in handy for somebody who has to deal with work permits. Tip number 3, and this is how I do a lot of scouting in Bulgaria, is I go and find players that have just been released from their clubs. To do this, come up to the world, and go to world, go to transfers, and then in this little drop down there's an option to tick release players, and then in the filter you can tick which countries you want to look at. I've got Bulgaria ticked. Now this shows me all the players this season that have been released by teams in Bulgaria, and I've released 3 of them. So what you can do, you can go and have a look. So he's released, he might be quite decent. Go get a little scout report on him and find out if you want to add him to your team. Tip number 4 is getting suggestions for your transfers from your director of football. To do this, in transfers, come up to director of football and just click suggest transfer targets. And then you can choose a load of options, whether you want it to be a free transfer, which we do, because we've got no money. So I want a new midfielder. So I select the midfielder position. You can select your role if you want. It's a free transfer, suggest. So in this instance, he doesn't find anybody, but what will happen is you'll get a couple of suggestions here for players, and then you can choose to scout them and add them to your team if you like them. And my final tip is you don't always have to agree to the promises that the players want. Quite often they'll accept even if you remove the promises. It can come in handy if you don't manage to, say, improve the coaching staff. They won't get angry when you break that promise. So I've got a contract here. This guy wants me to send him on an intensive language course. I'll do that anyway, but I'll take it out for this, suggest, and he accepts. And quite often you can get all the promises out the window, which is pretty good. There you have it, guys. If any of these tips are handy for you, make sure you hit that like button. If you want to see more content, hit that subscribe button. I stream the save on Twitch Mondays, Wednesdays and Sundays, so if you're free, come along and hang out. I'll catch you guys in another video, and cheerio.